Hey guys, this is Bill Combs
and Jeff Newton,
and this is the Flashbang Creative Podcast. Welcome back, guys. Sorry for the sabbatical we took. This is episode 11. We're going to take a minute to just tell you what we've been up to and why we haven't been delivering the content that we've basically dedicated ourselves to. Jeff, want to lead in with this?
Yeah, so we really drummed a bunch of things up there with the last couple of episodes that we released, 9 and 10. So we had a really high increase in feedback from our listeners, which was awesome, and people that they were spreading the word with. And you compound that with the holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and vacations and small families and everything else, and our other commitments with the multiple companies that we run. And time just got away from us to produce this hopefully valuable free content. So we know you're still getting your money's worth, but we are committed to getting this information back out on a regular basis. So here we are with 11, and a couple of the other things that we've been staying busy on in the last couple of weeks is kind of on the heels of our merchant processing episode. That one really seemed to send some shockwaves through those of you that heard it, which is fantastic because that's exactly what we wanted it to do. And as a result, we've been fielding a bunch of questions and a bunch of feedback, asking all sorts of specifics about, what makes you better than Stripe or PayPal, or, what about this and what about that? And all of those questions are fantastic because that is definitely the first step in enlightenment. And once you understand how that industry actually works, then, you'll understand that the solution we are offering is nothing but saving you money. So really, that kind of compounded with the large amount of feedback we got there. We knew that we had a bunch of people to serve, and so we went straight to work putting some deals together for a number of folks, and that kind of led us to start putting the package together, I guess I'd call it.
Yeah, I think we kind of had it on paper what we assumed the vast majority of our customers would be needing from a processing standpoint, and for the most part it was right, but there was definitely a lot of evolution to the service package, I would say. Yeah,
I mean, the thing about it was what we've come to find out is what we knew going in, but we had sort of forgotten that it's not a one-size-fits-all market. So even though the information that we tell you and the facts that we can show you and everything make a lot of sense and they sound a bit mind-blowing, we still want to make sure that we don't end up in a situation where we've designed a plan that didn't work for the way that your business works. And what I would mean by that is if you have a brick and mortar store, for example, or you have a bunch of low ticket average transaction prices, maybe it's like $15 or $20 a ticket. We don't want to price that as if you had, an average rate of $170 a ticket. A bunch of details we'd be more than happy to jump with you on one by one on how to structure the right plan for you. But nonetheless, we ended up getting the initial phase of our first product that we're going to call that. So our merchant processing product is called Rogue Merchant, and it's actually more of a movement and a title and an identity than it is a product. But we're getting that put together at roguemerchant.us, and that website's underway. Not a finished product yet, but you can at least jump in there and see it as it evolves and reach out to us through there.
Definitely. The other thing that we've been dealing with is new web customers. A lot of people showing interest in either upgrading, crossing over, getting a new or out with the old website. So that's been, cumbersome. Nothing's easy about putting together those packages. There is definitely no one size fits all. However, we have been working on and testing something that we've been doing for a number of years now, but we are now fielding it in with some of our customers. And I think once we get done with a little bit more of the testing, it'll fully evolve. But basically, we've started offering automated upsells and discounts. Something we've talked about before with you guys, as far as, give people X% off if they register for the second iteration of one of your courses. Well, we've went so far as developing a way for your website to do that for you. So an example would be if you have a level 1 course and they're adding that to the cart, they would get an offer to purchase the level 2 course for a discounted rate. And, it's actually been converting pretty well. So we're ironing that out, and it just relieves some of that, I guess, the input or the effort on your end, and just automates it. It's all about automation, building the foundation and the infrastructure to support growth.
Yeah, it all goes back to the roots of why we created the solution and for ourselves as instructors in the industry. And again, it really just continues to enable the end game, which is, how do we grow the business? How do we ultimately increase net income, because we don't want to do it as a charity, and those kinds of things. And so, it's about presenting the right offer at the right time to the individual, where that little dose of dopamine's already juicing through their head because they clicked buy on the first thing that they really wanted. So then you present the second thing that's in line, it's congruent with what they already purchased, and it gives them that opportunity to buy the upsell. And so we're seeing good success with that. Really happy with the way that that's working, and looking forward to being able to bring that to more instructors. Really, that falls into the bigger vein more than anything of automation, right? So if you go back to our core, force multiplication is one of our core tenets. You got to think smarter. You have to be more nimble and be faster than the other guy. You don't have to be bigger than them, but you have to be faster than them. You have to innovate. You have to fail forward, those kinds of things. And so automation and streamlining some more of those administrative tasks on the back end through the website, we've been fine-tuning that as well, because our vision is that as a single instructor, or maybe a shop of 1 or 2 instructors, we want you to spend the majority of your time doing what your unique ability is, which is being on stage in front of students, presenting the education.
Well, and if you're really on stage, let's say multiple times a week, like most of our professionals who do this full time, I don't want to use the term professionals as only the full-timers, but the guys that are doing it as their only profession, we've been getting some feedback from them, and that's why we sort of implemented some of these things. They're bogged down. They're growing. They're using the tools that we're providing and innovating on their own. I don't want to take it away from them on that side. We've got some guys who are making some awesome moves.
Yeah, the other fun part is, as the instructors start to see where some of these smaller pieces of automation are working for them on the website that we build for them, it's fun to see how their gears start turning, and then the questions start coming in like, well, what about this? Can I do this? How about that? If I could get this to happen, then that would save me 5 manual steps. And those are the things that we love to go to work on and find a solution for and bring back to them and then take to the masses.
Well, and the biggest pain in the ass for any business, no matter how big or small, is those admin tasks.
Right. Because those are off the clock hours.
Yeah,
you're not getting paid for those.
And everybody wants to be out there on the range or in front of your students doing what you love. Handling the other crap is not necessarily something that people enjoy doing. So by all means, automate where you can.
Yeah, 100%. So that's really what we've been up to for the last couple of weeks. Again, we apologize for going radio silent on you, but we're back to a newly refreshed commitment to keep this content coming out on a weekly basis for you guys. So that's what we're going to get back to doing.
We got one more thing. I just thought of it. I guess we could say we officially launched our Firearms Professional Association.
Right. You're right.
So we've we had mentioned it in the past, but we never really did anything with it. We've been trying to create, figure out what we wanted to do with it. What can we do that would provide the most value? So kind of the general gist of it right now is we want to pull as many professionals. It's only for professionals. I don't want people who, would like to become an instructor or a retailer or anything like that. I only want professionals. So that would be firearms manufacturing, sales, and education/training. I mean, those are the big key components there. It's basically a house for us all to come together as a collective and network and ask questions and give advice. The idea is to create, a great resource for everyone. So if you got a question, ask it. If you don't know something, don't be shy. I mean, you're going to have people who have been in the industry for 20 plus years eventually. I mean, we don't have a lot of members yet. I'm not actively recruiting people. I just want people to find it, and let's create a hive for, idea sharing and best practices and such.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find that group currently on Facebook. So if you go to the Flashbang Creative page, there's some links to it in our feed. Otherwise, it's the Firearms Professional Association. If you just search Facebook for that, you'll see it come up. And again, there's maybe a dozen members in it at this point. But again, we weren't putting on the full court press to recruit, but we do want it to be a kind of a person connection type invitation, not invitation only, but you'll know it when you get there that it feels right, and you'll know who to bring in and refer other people to come be a member of that as well.
And that's the whole object of the thing. People pay dues to be members of other biggest national associations, and in the end, what do you really get out of it? The goal of this is to establish a community, a place for people to come ask legitimate questions, advice, or give legitimate advice. What's working for you, what's not. Hell, brag about it. Post some pictures. Let's just discuss all things that are firearms related, in the professional space.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to be the things that you're stuck on. It can also be the things that are going really well for you in the business. If it was a new way you presented information that the students connected with more, or if you tweaked this particular type of offer and you happen to fill the seats for the course or something like that. So, it's a full-on collective community where it's for the good and the bad, but it's a place to be supported by people that understand what you're doing, because they do it too.
The next thing I want to do is, we don't ask really anything from you guys, but I'm going to have to ask something from you. We've got a lot of listeners. It's actually, pretty surprising. I don't really ever look at it, but I just looked at it the other day of how many listeners we have, and it's impressive. I'm really, really humbled by it. It's awesome. But however, what we are not getting is reviews. I think we have 2, maybe 3 reviews, and at least on iTunes, and we really need those reviews, guys. We do this free of charge. We put in, there's a lot of production hours here between, Jeff and myself, and our time is definitely more valuable spent elsewhere, but we're doing this for you guys. In the community. I don't want to just say, it's not for our own selfish reasons here. We want to legitimately support the community. And so what we really need you guys, and I challenge you guys to do, is please go out and leave us a review on whatever, either the app that you're using to listen to us or on our website, wherever. It would greatly help us in our rankings and allow others to find us and, spread the word.
Yeah, the way that works, just so you guys know, is that it doesn't matter if we had 100,000 downloads a day. If we're not getting subscriptions or reviews, it won't rank. So we really would appreciate the extra 2 seconds there to click the subscribe button so that you get updated on when we release our new episodes, and they're there for you to just listen right away, and then toss up a review as well. Whatever the review is, we're not asking the old backhanded gimme all fives here, but just honest reviews of the episode and or of the entire show. And you can find us there. We're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on Stitcher, we're on I don't know about the top 6 or 7 of those streaming applications. So find us and toss those up for us.
Yes. Now I believe we're moving on to a mail call session. This is going to be a pretty short and sweet episode just to get back into the game. But,
just to get back in front of you guys and again, find the value that we think you can take from this episode based off of what we've been active in for the last 5 or 6 weeks without you participating. So we really chose 3 different categories, basically. A lot of the questions we get are the same or could be reworded, but they come down to the same fundamentals. And so the first question that we get really frequently is, how do I extend my reach? How do I reach more people that could or would show up to take my classes or to purchase my product? And to go back to the basics on this, because it's something we've talked about on previous episodes, but the biggest thing you have to focus on and the thing you need to understand and to control the most is your distribution channel. So what do I mean by distribution channel? Well, the absolute easiest thing that I mean by that would be your email list. And if you don't have an email list, shame on you. You need to start one.
Start it now. Everything, no matter how big big businesses spend millions of dollars to generate lists because those are, leads to potential customers. And so build your list and use your list. You could be sitting on, we've got people who are sitting on thousands of prior students that
and
really
they've never sent a single email to them.
Nothing. That is such a waste, guys. I cannot stress it enough that you are wasting the single hottest item you have, and that is a resale.
Yeah, and don't make it any more complicated than it has to be. If you already have a class on the calendar in the future and you have an email list, it doesn't even matter if it's 3 people. Pull up your mail app, pull up, the BCC field, drop them all in there. It's the easiest way to do it. If you're not using a third-party service or if you're not using a contact management system, just drop them in the BCC field.
Can you tell them what BCC means? Not everybody knows.
Yeah. Blind carbon copy. It's the field right below CC, which means carbon copy. So what that means on the other end is that you could put 500 people in the BCC field, and when they get the email, they won't see that you sent it to 499 other people. It'll look like it just came to them. So that's the way to send one email and have it go out to multiple people versus copy and pasting the same email 500 times to send it out. And we can go into some technology to automate a lot of that for you too. But again, quick, tactical, practical. You can put this into play in your business right now while you're listening. Is grab the details for your upcoming course, grab your email list. Don't sell them, but re-engage your list. Send them the email. Are you still interested in firearm training? Hey, haven't talked to you in a while. Just so you know, I know you took my CCW course a year and a half ago, but I've got a personal defense inside the home class coming up 2 weeks from now. If you're interested, here's the link. And
yeah, give them hey, it's been a while. Haven't been in touch with you. Here's what we've been up to over the past, months or weeks or years, whatever. It doesn't really matter how you keep it. If you're going to do a BCC email, a mass email, you'll want to keep that timeline pretty generic because it could be a student you just saw last weekend.
Right.
But re-engage. Tell them about the other stuff that you offer and put it in front of them. People want you to take their money.
Yeah, I'd give them something valuable. People forget 50% of what they hear if they don't write it down. So every one of those students that was in your class most likely has forgotten, you're a good instructor, maybe 20% of what you taught them. But either way, what is the most valuable piece of information you share? What's the top 3 pieces of information you shared in the class that they attended? Put it in writing and send it back out to them. It'd be a great refresher. It's valuable to them. It's something that they're interested in because they already took the course about it, and just put that back in front of them. It doesn't have to be a direct sale. It could just be a question to re-engage a relationship. I guess I haven't gotten to sit on that soapbox for a while, but again, we're in the relationship game. And you're building relationships. You're not in a transaction game. And if you are, then that's all you're ever going to be, is in the transaction game. And transactions are significantly more difficult to repeat, especially when the resource or the product that they're purchasing isn't a renewable product.
I'd like to add to that. I know we're getting close to time, but I got something to say. I'm an introvert. A lot of people don't know that about me, that do business with us, because I wear 2 hats. When I'm at work or working, I'm a people person. I'm a relationship fool. I want to be your best friend. I want to help you. I generally want to help people. That is my purpose. However, in my spare time, when I'm at home, when I'm not wearing this hat, I'm an introvert. I love my me time. I live inside my head. I'm always dreaming and scheming of our next move. My wife knows this. My kids know this. I like my me time in the evenings, but and that seems to be a lot like a lot of people in our industry, especially in the firearms sales business. A lot of the people in the firearms space are dudes that are they're quiet guys. They love being outside and hunting. You don't really have a hunting buddy. You're out by yourself. But let me tell you, when it comes to business, you need to learn to engage with people and build relationships. It's uncomfortable at first, but if you're going to make it and you're going to be successful and reach that next level, you're going to have to learn how to be extroverted when you're on the clock.
Yeah, and I'll give you a hack for that because it's something that I've struggled with myself. I'm kind of an omnivert. I can go. I'm a lot like Bill when I need to be. I love to be inside my own head, but usually it's thinking through and solving complex problems or letting the subconscious do that while I'm actively paying attention to something else. But I like to be on stage, but I also like my downtime off stage. And one thing that I really heard one time, I don't remember who said it, or I'd give him credit, it wasn't me, but when you're in conversation, you need to be listening for understanding, not listening to respond. And when you're engaged in a conversation with a prospect or a customer, if you can remember that and really force yourself to listen to what they're saying for understanding, being active and present in the conversation, looking for opportunities to help them, not to sell them, not to close them, not to manipulate them or anything else. Just listen for understanding. Don't listen to respond. And you know what I mean by that is you're actively preparing the sentence that you're about to cut them off and blurt out because you're ready to respond. You already know what you want to say. Doesn't matter. You got to shut that off and just stop, find the quiet in your own head and listen to understand.
And I think that the best thing you can do on that before we move on, because we are running out of time, remember why you're in this game. Every single person that we have talked to that is in the 2A space is in it because they are passionate about it. They love to teach people. They love to educate. They love their guns. Remember that, and then connect to these people who are your people. These are your people. And, that helps me to, engage. I think that's probably enough on that topic. We've got to move on to the next question, but just talk to people. You got to want to help them because that helps the community.
Yeah, and they'll not only recognize it, but they'll respect it, and you'll create that relationship and that returning customer for life, simply because that's different in the marketplace. People aren't used to that. They're used to the cold, transactional stuff. So moving on to question number 2, Bill.
A lot of questions on this is more our web-based clients who are either with us or want to be with us. can I sell more than just my courses on my website? Yes, and I would highly encourage it. We have a great example that I have is a lady that I know. She is a personal trainer, and in our area, she really reaches out to the high end, the high society people in Omaha, which is where we're from, and she does very well. She makes a lot of money, and so part of the game with physical fitness and eating well and whatnot is supplements and things like that. And she was sending people to where she goes to buy her supplements, her supplement guy or gal. And then one day it occurred to her, I'm losing money. Why couldn't I just sell these directly to my customers and make some money? And that right there is exactly what you guys could be doing. You don't have to be an FFL to sell the shit that your customers want. You can sell, accessories, holsters, gun belts, gear that is applicable to whatever it is you're teaching and or the lifestyle that you promote. You have anything else to add to that, Jeff?
No, I mean that's the low-hanging fruit piece of that. If you want to take it to the next level, let's say you're one of the few that are actually driving it that way in your business, then don't leave other opportunities on the table. So, if we keep with the supplement example and just take that to the next step, if they're taking a consumable, which means once it's gone, it's gone, like an envelope. You can use it once, and after that you got to throw it away. You can't reuse it. Same with a supplement. Products like that, they're going to have to return for, or they're going to need again. So you obviously want them to get that from you. So what if you took, instead of that single sale once a month, where you're having to sell them once a month, what if you showed them the benefit or the value of entering into a continuity or a subscription program of just having those pre-ordered and pre-sent on the first of the month every month?
Hell yes.
Because then you've removed all of the administration in the selling of it, and all you're doing is fulfilling it, and they're already going to want it, and it's all a part of their success because it's one of the ingredients. So take that one step further. Obviously take the next step of, yes, give them the supplements if you're already training them. Think beyond that. If they're going to need them again, how do I give them to them again and make sure they have them so they don't go to somewhere else to get them. And then, you can kind of go all down the list. What other things could you create that go in line with that same type of topic? It could be, a $5 or $7 kind of 3-page handout that goes over the exercises that you have them going through. So to make that applicable to what we're doing, maybe it's, again, the tactics that you're training in the course that they're coming to, and you turn that into a pamphlet and or a video series or a membership only website that they pay subscriptions to monthly, indefinitely. Then you got to look at those extra ways to create different revenue streams in your business for content that you're already creating and where you can and clone yourself.
And where most people go with this, I'm going to go back to some more basic stuff because Jeff is definitely talking about the high end, the next level shit in business. I mean, that was all incredible advice on how to make a lot of money. But everybody seems to want to sell guns. And let me tell you, we've been doing it for years. And if I could not sell guns, I would. There's no money in it. I mean, you make money in accessories. It's like selling electronics, guys. I don't know if any of you ever worked at Best Buy or any electronic stores. You don't make shit on a TV. You make a lot of money off the HDMI cable.
Right.
And that's the same way with the firearms industry. You don't make a lot of money off of a Glock 17. You make a lot of money off the magazines, the sights, whatever else, pouches, holsters, gun belts. You make money off the other stuff, and that does not require an FFL. So
the other thing about that too, I mean, you got to remember that you're the voice. You're in the position of power. You're the authority. You're the one that they look up to and look at as the experienced one. And don't forget, when those guys show up at your range for training day or whatever, and they've got a sloppy belt with 3 inches of give in it, or the holster is not safe or not secure. I mean, you guys have an eye for this because we're built for it. We trained for it. Don't let them leave your class without, don't dress them down over it, but help them out. Maybe they don't know any better. I know I didn't when I first started shooting, and it took, a kind and thoughtful instructor to say, I happen to see you're struggling with the way that the gun presents from the holster. And, if you take a look at my belt, you'll see that it has these features and you'll notice how it functions. I really think if you had something like that, you might be able to, shave whatever, a couple seconds off your draw or whatever it happened to be. But the whole point is you don't have to be a dick about it. You can be helpful, provide information, provide value, but then back to the supplement conversation, don't send them to Walmart or to Cabela's or to Bass Pro to go buy the damn belt you just talked to them about. Find a way to source it yourself or to set up a working relationship with the company that can source it for you, and find a way to make revenue off of that sale.
Yeah, we might even know a place.
What question are we on, Bill? 2?
That was 2.
Like A, D, C, something around.
Yeah.
Z?
Yeah. I think that's enough for question 2. Can I sell more than just courses? Hell yes, you can, and you definitely should. Question number 3. We've gotten a lot of calls, emails, and a lot of people want to know if they could just hire us for consulting to teach them how to implement. Execute, really. I mean, really the biggest thing that we find, the biggest flaw is execution. And that's with everybody, guys. I mean, I think this is for a later podcast, so I'm not going to get into it too deep. But before we talk about our consulting rates, because hell yes, we do. And it's not cheap. But here's what I would recommend more than anything. We don't charge anything for our free business audit, and I don't know if we've had one of those phone calls go less than 2 hours. You get a lot of time, and it has proved to be very valuable to people who ask us, can I get a free business audit from you guys? Because that's what we do. And the free business audit, I know it's a cheesy-ass title of what we're doing, but that's really what it is. You guys are a business, and we're going to audit you, through asking you pointy questions of what are you doing versus what are you wanting to do, or how are you going to get there, and then we talk through it. And then once we know where you're at versus where you're going, we can then find how we vector you along that course.
Yeah, and the important piece to really drill home there, and Bill hit it, it's execution, right? So the only thing that separates anyone from the guys that are making it out there, the guys and gals that are making it out there, is execution, point blank, even if it's sloppy execution. But if you're taking action and the other people are not, you're already that one step ahead of everyone else. And the reason that we structure the business on it as an upfront engagement point for any consulting we engage in is, guess what happens at the end of the audit call? Homework. Why is it homework? Because you're either going to execute on it or you're not. And if you're not, then we can't help you as consultants. Because if you're not committed to the work, and if you can't take action on the handful of tasks that we agree upon mutually, it's not us telling you what to do. It's understanding where you're trying to go and giving you actionable advice to take. But if you won't take that advice for free, then you won't see the results if you pay us what our consulting rates are. And we only want to work with those that want to see the results. And that's it's just as much a time saver for us. And it gives us the ability to put that time towards those that do want to execute and do want to see results. So, I mean, that's what to expect. That's transparency. We've never been anything less than that with you. So that's all I could say on that.
And with that, I think that's a wrap.
Peace out.
I don't really have anything else to add. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. We will be back at it again with your weekly podcasts. Again, we've been executing on a lot of tasks, using that word again, execution. And we're back.
We're back, yeah. Like, share, comment, invite people to subscribe, to add reviews. That's all we ask.
Yeah, please invite. This is turning out to be not just a firearms related podcast. We have a lot of people we have restaurant owners who have been reaching out to us because the practices that we're teaching here, are applicable to all fields. It doesn't matter if you own a lawn care business also. We can teach you how to generate some results. And that's what it's all about.
And we love seeing it either way.
Yes, we are results-oriented people.
All right. Go join the Firearms Professional Association.
Thanks, guys. To find out more, you can find us on Facebook at Flashbang Creative, or you can visit us on our website at flashbangcreative.us.